Marcel Khalife here on Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman as we turn to another Democracy Now! Exclusive. A lawsuit's been filed on behalf of more than 5,000 Haitians against the United Nations over the cholera outbreak that has further devastated Haiti in the aftermath of the January 2010 earthquake. Some 450,000 Haitians have been sickened. More than 6,000 have died since October 2010 when the cholera outbreak erupted just over a year ago. It's widely believed the cholera was brought to Haiti by a battalion of Nepalese troops with the UN peacekeeping force. In a complaint to the UN, the attorneys for the Haitian victims also accused the UN of reckless failure in containing the outbreak, writing, quote, "The cholera outbreaks directly attributable to the negligence, gross negligence, recklessness, and deliberate indifference for the health and lives of Haiti's citizens by the United Nations." With more than 5% of the population sickened during the outbreak, it's believed Haiti now has the highest rate of cholera in the world. Brian Concannon is one of the attorneys who filed the suit on behalf of Haitian cholera victims. He's director of the Institute for Justice and Democracy in Haiti. In this exclusive, Brian Concannon joins us now to talk about the case. You're filing today?
We actually filed on Thursday, but today we're officially announcing it. We're having a press conference at the UN in New York and in Haiti today.
You're blaming the United Nations.
Actually, the United Nations mostly blamed itself. The UN put out a report in May that demonstrated the UN was at fault for the introduction and the spread of cholera, although the report has a conclusion that's disjointed from the facts that are in that, and the UN is failing to officially acknowledge responsibility, nor is it responding as if responding adequately to slow down the epidemic and treat the victims.
What has been the response to the lawsuit?
So far, there's not been a response, which is consistent with the UN's practice. Democracy Now! Viewers know that the UN has had an impunity problem almost since it's been in Haiti. MINUSTA got to Haiti in 2004. Early in its mission, there were attacks against, there were arrests of political dissidents. There were attacks in poor neighborhoods that killed dozens of people at a time. Throughout its tenure, the UN has had a problem of sexual abuse, and time after time, the response has been to deny the allegations. We're hoping that this is the case that's too big to fail. That the evidence against the United Nations is so overwhelming here that the UN will have no choice but to finally take responsibility for its malfeasance.
Talk about the origins of the outbreak.
Sure. The outbreak first hit about 150 meters below a UN military base in an area called Mirabelais in central Haiti. And the people who have done the genetic testing find that the strain of cholera that hit that area is identical to a strain that was in Nepal. And Nepal had a cholera outbreak in the summer of 2010. Towards the end of that outbreak, Nepalese troops were transferred to Haiti. They were not adequately tested for cholera, and they were transferred to this Mirabelais base where the sewage from the base was disposed of by dumping it in a pit. There were leaky pipes, and there were other problems that led the UN to conclude that there was a good chance that the sewage from that camp went right into the river called the Maye River, which is a tributary of the Artibonite, which is Haiti's Mississippi River. It's the biggest river. It's used for drinking water. It's used for irrigation, and it's used by a large percentage of Haiti's population. Once the cholera got into that river, it first got people downriver, but then when the people downriver started getting sick and there wasn't any effective public health response, people in the whole area panicked, and they ran to other parts of Haiti, and they brought with them the cholera disease, and so it rapidly spread to a large portion of Haiti's territory. And right now there are areas that are safer, but in almost every department of Haiti has had cholera cases, and as you mentioned, it's now the worst cholera epidemic in the world.
We were struck after the earthquake, not the cholera epidemic, but the earthquake, the level of support of Cuban doctors in dealing with the people of Haiti. What about their role, Cuban doctors, in dealing with the cholera epidemic?
Yeah, our clients and other reports have been saying that the Cuban doctors have been taking the lead especially because the cholera has hit places in remote areas where, in many of those remote areas, the only doctors who go there are Cuban doctors. So they've done a great job. The problem is that this is not an epidemic you can stop with doctors. It's an epidemic you can stop by providing clean water and sanitation. And what we're asking for, and what our clients are asking for, is the UN and the international community to step up and to give Haiti the sanitation infrastructure it needs to stop the epidemic.
How exactly can the UN deal right now? And has the UN been sued before?
There's been several efforts to sue to find accountability for the UN in Haiti. The problem is there's an agreement called the Status of Forces Agreement that Haiti signed with the UN that provides basically diplomatic immunity to UN personnel and to the mission as a whole. That Status of Forces Agreement provides an alternative dispute mechanism called the Standing Claims Commission. The UN has never established the Standing Claims Commission, and so right now there's no real forum. And what our lawsuit is doing is challenging the UN to come up with a fair, impartial forum for deciding this dispute. If they don't, that gives national courts jurisdictions, because national courts have ruled that immunity cannot mean impunity, that if organizations like the UN do not provide adequate alternative justice mechanisms, then national courts will then be able to take these cases.
I wanted to end with Jimmy Carter, the former U.S. president in Haiti, this month with Habitat for Humanity trying to help rebuild thousands of destroyed homes, speaking Monday about the slow delivery of funding to reconstruct Haiti.
I've only been here one day, and I've seen, we've driven through Port-au-Prince and through part of the large city. I don't see any evidence of building homes for poor families. I see a lot of reconstruction of very large houses, you know, where rich people live. Well, my understanding is that the pledges of funding has been quite large, but the actual delivery of the money and the spending of money for homes has been very slow. And I'll be sharing this opinion with the United States officials and with United Nations officials when I return to the United States.
That was former President Jimmy Carter talking about the slow funding for housing after the earthquake. I mean, really, President Clinton is the point person on helping with getting money into Haiti. How much does the UN, MINUSTA, that's the UN mission in Haiti, get?
Sure, there's been slow funding for housing, there's been slow funding for cholera treatment. There has not been slow funding for peacekeeping. 1/10 of all UN peacekeepers are in Haiti. Their budget for this year is $800 million, and that's for a country that has not had a war in my lifetime, but does have a cholera epidemic.
800 million.
Yes, about $2.5 million every day, and that's for peacekeepers, and most Haitians do not see the justification on the ground for a peacekeeping mission.
Well, I want to thank you very much, Brian Concannon, for joining us, Director of the Institute for Justice and Democracy in Haiti, human rights lawyer, holding a news conference today in New York. Also, there will be one held in Haiti announcing the lawsuit against the United Nations for the cholera epidemic in Haiti. This is Democracy Now! We'll be back in 30 seconds to talk